Hello, naitwa Pamela and this is Tujengane na Pamela. Hapa ni kujengana katika nyanja za aina mbalimbali, tunaongelea mambo ya aina mbalimbali ili mradi tu just to make life a little bit happier, a little bit easy, you know, and just to be at peace just a little bit. And so today tena kuongelea kuhusu mambo ya a bit of mental health. Afya ya akili. As long as una akili, as long as you're living and you have a body, sometimes unakuwa affected with different issues. Sema levels zinakuwa zinatofautiana. So, a while back, we were talking with this uncle ambaye ni doctor wa mental health. Na yeye anadili na watu ambao wana mental health wale kule juu. And tulikuwa tunaongea akawa anasema kwamba as long as you're living, as long as you're human and you have a brain that functions, una mental issues. At first, I thought it was like a joke. And then when I dwelled into it, I was like, yeah, it does make sense. As long as you're living and you have a mental, kama una akili, you know, sometimes inaweza na yenyewe ikaumwa. Sema levels zinakuwa zimetofautiana. Aka go on na kusema kwamba levels zimetofautiana, obviously. Akasema kuna wengine iko very high, ndio maana inabidi apeleke kwenye institution kwa sababu anakuwa ameshindwa kudeal na issues of life. Kwa hiyo anakuwa over anashindwa kuyahandle. Akasema wengine wako hapo level ya katikati ambao nao pia at times zinakuwa spiked up with something. Anaweza akawa ni mtu ambaye ana hasira anatupa vitu. Obviously ni mtu ambaye anakuwa anashindwa kuhandle issues. Au sometimes unakuwa unasema kwamba huyu mtu sio kawaida yake. Alitoka hapa akafanya hiki. And then akasema kuna wengine ndo zimejificha kwa sababu anakuwa ni watu ambao wanakuwa wanaweza kuhandle au wamefind ways za kucope. Either knowingly or unknowingly. And I went further to say kwamba, okay, in life in general, to me pay so much attention katika mwili, to me sort of like ignore our minds, ignore our mental wellness. And it is high time, I think society, we pay attention around our minds, around our brains, and people around us as well. It is so easy. Mfano mdogo wangu akinijia akaniambia tumbo linaniuma, nitamwambia kunywa dawa, nikupe dawa. Au mwanangu akaniambia kichwa kinaniuma, au najisikia malaria, obviously utamchukua huyo mtu umpeleke hospitali. What about our minds? What about our minds? Yani akili zetu, the people around us, our neighbors, our friends, colleagues kazini, mtu ukimwona kwamba hayuko okay, do we just give them space? Kwa sababu I've done it. Like unamwona kabisa mtu they are not themselves, unaona kama umpe space, lakini kumbe it is best to just ask that person. Kwa sababu even me, if I am not okay mentally, something is bothering me in my mind, whether you're past, whether you're present, whether any anxieties, I like when a person comes to me and says, Pam, you don't seem okay, are you okay? And come at this, anything I can do for you, just let me know. It gives you inakuwa kama ni panadol. Kana kwamba you know there's somebody who cares and asks. Kwa hiyo inakuwa kama inakupa treatment flani. Kuna kwamba somebody cares and you know. And yes, I think as a society, as people, let us pay attention to people around us, family, friends. Let's care about our mental health. It comes in different forms, and some you can see, some you cannot see. And most of them you cannot see because it's in the mind. And that is why sometimes mtu anaweza akafanya kitu out of. No, kasema you didn't see it coming. You didn't see it coming because it's hidden. It's easy to treat the body, and I'm not blaming anybody, and I'm not, you know, kwa sababu mtu akiuma mwili, you can tell, and that's easy. Lakini with the mind, it's hidden, you cannot see. Sometimes you find mtu amecommit suicide and unasema mbona alikuwa anaonekana yuko very happy, alikuwa na mke au alikuwa na mme au alikuwa na familia, alikuwa anafanya hiki, alitoka kazini akafanya hiki, and then unakuja una find out mtu alikuwa na go through a lot, kama ni madeni, kama alikuwa na go through kuwa abused, ni kwa sababu all is hidden. Lakini tukiwa na society ambayo tunakuwa tuna care about our minds, about our friends, our neighbors, whereby we go that extra mile to ask as a person kwamba really unaendeleaje, is there anything I can do? You don't need to be nosy, but we can say I don't need to be nosy, but I'm here. Or kama utahitaji mtu kuongea naye zaidi, I can recommend, kwa sababu it doesn't have to be you, you know. And unaweza it's so easy kuona kwamba I don't have mental issues, but as I said, everybody has mental issues. Sema, zimetofautiana in levels. And as long as you're living, just going through day-to-day life, anything can cause you a mental health breakdown. Au inaweza kukusababishia afya ya akili kidogo ikadhoofika. Naweza nikatoa mifano iko mingi sana, ila as long as you're surrounded by so many things, anything can cause it. Okay, naweza nika name a few. Kimoja wapo inaweza kawa ni whatever you've gone through life in the past, bad experiences, and I have noticed a lot of us have gone through bad life experiences. Inaweza kawa through neighbors, inaweza kawa through walimu, parents, inaweza kawa through siblings, just anything. Kuna something ambacho kinakuwa kilikuwa not right to you, kinakuwa na kinakusumbua, kinakucause you mental kwenda down. And kitu chochote ambacho kinakuwa kinakusababishia akili yako kidogo ikawa not okay, yeah, utakuwa katika state whereby you're really down and you cannot function properly. You cannot produce, you cannot be productive, you cannot be creative. And that is not good, because we are here to be well. We are here to be productive. We are here to be creative. We are here to be, you know, fully, like, at our full potential. Okay. Another thing ambayo inaweza cause you kuwa na kidogo mental illness, social media nowadays. The social media inaweza kukufanya uwe down, especially these things whereby unakuwa unaenda katika state ya compare yourself. And there's so many unrealistic things going on through social media. So that enough can cause you a mental breakdown. And there's so many things. Inaweza kawa ni kazi. Sometimes you're going through inaweza kawa ni mambo again mambo ya mabosi labda, au colleagues unakuwa upatani nao, au labda hauna kazi, unatafuta kazi. Hiyo pia inaweza kusababisha akili yako kidogo ikawa imechanganywa. Kingine, pesa runs this life. If you do not have money, sometimes it can give you a mental breakdown. So there's so many things. As long as you're living, even neighbors, sometimes also kuna nosy neighbors. Mtu anaweza kuwa anakusumbua kweli katika maisha yako, kana kwamba anakufanya unakuwa na mawazo na anakufanya unakuwa down. So things like that. So one of the no-brainer solutions ambazo mtu unaweza kusema uchukue ni kwenda therapy au kwenda counseling. Ila in all honesty, it can be very expensive. It doesn't matter where you are. It's been proven that inaonekana kabisa it's very expensive, and it's only few people who can afford it. And I remember there was a time I was going well, I go through a lot, but now well, let's leave that. I remember there was a time I was sort of like going through something, and I knew I needed help mentally. And when I was searching, then I came to find out kwamba kuna mambo ya therapy. Before, I didn't know this such thing as therapy or counseling. And when I was looking at the prices, they were very, I just simply couldn't afford it. And I just couldn't afford it. Let's just put it that way. And I prayed to God, and thank God, with time, nikapata 2 friends. And this is one of the solutions that I can recommend for you if you're going through something and you want to come out of it. I had 2 friends who sort of like went through similar thing like me. So we got talking on different occasions, obviously. Mara kwa mara, we got talking, and they started sharing. And when they started sharing, I was like, whoa, you went through the same thing. So we got talking, and it was very therapeutic kwa sababu, one, I could relate, they could relate to me, and two, nilikuwa najionaga kwamba labda najidekeza au labda ninatia chumvi au nazidisha, kwa sababu there was a time watu walikuwa wana sort of like kuniona kwamba oh come on, you can come out of it, oh come on, maybe it's not that way. But it gave me peace to know that actually what I went through is valid and I can come out of it. If you went through this, I went through this, we can come out together. So I can recommend for you to find somebody who has gone through almost similar situation, if not the same, and talk about it, talk it out. If you have a diary, write it out, you know, andika. It does tend to help a lot. And once you are starting to talk about it, nenda with the aim of finding a solution. You will always find a solution katika vitu ambavyo unakuwa unataka, especially kama if you want to get better, kwa sababu sometimes unakuta mtu anaingia katika kudiscuss issues and then they don't want to find a solution, they just sort of like enjoy to be in that space. Usiingie na mentality ya kusema kwamba this is hard, this is difficult, ni ngumu, isioni mwisho wake. Hakuna kitu ambacho hakina mwisho wake, you know. So once you are seeking out a person who you know they're sort of like empathetic and will understand where you're coming from, speak about it with the aim of wanting to come out of this, because it's such an ugly place to be in. So I remember before I started talking it out, whenever I had a trigger, I would stay in that space for even 3, 4, 5 days. I'll be crying, I'll be really sad, I wouldn't be my normal self. So that would affect my work, it would affect my job, it would affect kama nilikuwa uni or whatever, it would affect my scores, my schooling. I wouldn't be concentrating, so I wouldn't be productive. And once I started like seeking healing, I found ways on how to cope. And secondly, just to know that is the past, it has happened, there's nothing you can change. You cannot change anything about it because it has happened already. So it is just to find a way to come out of it, to just move forward and know that you are okay, you are here, I am fine. Whatever happened, sitaki ku downplay anything, but kwa sababu the scale of ukubwa wake we mwenyewe ndo unaujua, but just to know this is not the end, and you're not the first, you won't be the last. People have gone through it. So find a way of how people sat on it, went through it, and wakawin. So now when you find a way whereby you will come out of it, know that you are not the only one. You will be fine. Mental health, it is such a huge topic on its own. You will find watu wanaiongelea kiupana zaidi kwa engo za aina tofauti, and I've been interested in it because I've gone through a lot with my mental health. And not to say that it was like very big, but I was just very interested. Sometimes I'd sit with myself, kuchunguza akili yangu, kuchunguza when I'm down, kuchunguza when I'm up, and kuangalia my colleagues and friends with the mental issues, and I'll be very interested to find out more. So I found kwamba ni topic ambayo iko very wide, and ni topic ambayo iko linked na mwili. So if you were to ask me what's the meaning of mental health, I would say whatever mwili uko na mental uko, kwa sababu viko connected. Mwili uko affected na mental inakuwa affected. So we just have to watch out for one another. We just have to pay attention to our minds. We just have to normalize mental wellness. Usione kama ni ya mtu mwingine, is not you. It is about you and me. As long as you're living, as long as you're breathing, as long as you are alive, we are all affected with mental wellness. We have friends, we have neighbors, we have families. We don't know what's going on with their minds. Let's just be interested in one another's mind, so that kila mtu awe happy, na tusichukulie poa, kwa sababu one day this person is here, another day is not. Then you go like, I wish I checked in. I wish ningemuuliza, you know. Yeah, let's pay attention to it. Mpaka hapo tutakapoonana tena. Take care of yourself, and yes, if you like this type of content, consider subscribing. Bye.